I'm Richard.
And I'm Gary, and these are our incredible stories. Hello and welcome back to all of our listeners from around the world and across the United States. We're happy to have you here with us. If you're joining us for the first time, welcome to the show. If you like what you hear, go ahead and like and subscribe to this program. And every Friday you will be treated to another incredible story. All right, so I see those same papers out again, which means we have some incredible facts.
Incredible facts from United States history, the kind of things that no one ever learned when they studied history in school.
Well, if they had put this in school, I probably would have been a little bit more interested.
Yeah, because these are the kind of things, folks, that, some of them might bring a smile, some of them might raise an eyebrow, and you find, that's kind of interesting. You'll get that kind of reaction. And I look at these as the kind of little anecdotes that help relieve stress after a rough day, maybe at work, or in your daily routines, and you're looking to relax a little bit with the podcast. And so nothing heavy duty here, nothing to really exercise your brain over. Just sit back, relax, and just enjoy the ride and let us do all the driving. So with that said, Gary, we're going to talk about the son of one of the most beloved presidents of the United States.
Okay.
And who would that be?
Would that be Abraham Lincoln's son?
Yes. Yes, Abraham Lincoln was the most beloved president. And I would say you had a choice between three. In my mind, they would be George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, and Franklin D. Roosevelt. Would you have three of your favorites that you think are the most beloved?
Well, as far as presidents?
Yeah.
Oh, well, then I would say FDR.
Yeah.
Him and Lincoln.
Yeah. And George Washington, I think.
George Washington.
Right.
But even though he was our first president, but wasn't really our first president. Mm-hmm. Who was that?
Oh, that was some other fellow, and it was before, under the Articles of Confederation and before the Constitution, and so things got a little weird.
It's American history for you.
Mm-hmm. Yes, as we're going to find out this evening. So anyways, we're going to talk about Abraham Lincoln's oldest son, and tragically, sadly, he was the only son to actually grow into adulthood. Abraham Lincoln had to suffer through the loss of his other children when they were in childhood, and they were all sons of his. But the one who survived, his name was Robert Todd Lincoln. And Mary Todd Lincoln, Lincoln's wife, her maiden name was Todd, so Robert had his mother's maiden name as his middle name, Robert Todd Lincoln. And in later life, this poor man came to believe that he was a jinx. Do you know what a jinx is?
Of course I know what a jinx is. It's somebody who brings nothing but bad luck to people.
Yes, and this poor man, as if, it wasn't enough to lose his father to an assassin, later on had to come to believe himself to be a jinx. And here's why. He was connected in one way or another with the assassinations of 3 American presidents.
What?
Yeah. Let's go ahead and start off with his early life. During the Civil War, Robert Todd Lincoln was a student at Harvard Law School. Now, he left school to accept a captain's commission in the United States Army during the Civil War. His father, Abraham, had invited him to be a guest at the theater party at Ford's Theater the evening of the tragic assassination. And at the last minute, Captain Robert Todd Lincoln sent his regrets. He wasn't able to attend. Now think about this, Gary. if Robert Todd Lincoln had attended the theater that fateful night, it's very likely that he would have been seated on a stool blocking the door to the president's box.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it would have been impossible for the assassin to enter and shoot the president. So the fact that something else came up and he couldn't attend with his father and mother resulted in nobody sitting on a stool in front of the door to the box.
Wow.
Such is fate. But listen to this. There are two other incidents that made Robert Todd Lincoln believe he was a jinx. One day he crossed a street to greet President James Garfield to tell the president that he'd been unable to accompany him on a planned trip. And then within minutes, President Garfield was assassinated by a stranger. Once again, Robert Todd Lincoln saying, I can't be going with you. And moments later, the president is shot and killed. And then after the death of President McKinley, he was standing nearby when President McKinley was fatally shot by an assassin. So he was close by. So after that death, Robert Todd Lincoln vowed he would never attend another presidential function, and he never did.
Wow.
Yeah. So pretty unusual history there. Pretty incredible.
Yeah, it was.
His life was marked by a lot of tragedy, and he was close to a lot of tragedy, and 3 presidential assassinations, including that of his father. So the poor man.
I would say that's an odd coincidence.
Yeah. But the poor man, it haunted him, and it's sad to hear how lives can be ruined like that, and he was not a happy person. But that's our incredible main fact of the evening. But we always end with about 3 little zingers that come out of nowhere that probably no one has ever heard of before. Are you ready for the first one?
Sure.
All right. Many of the soldiers of the defeated Confederate Army after the Civil War, some of them, of course, migrated to Texas and became cowboys and rustlers, but a large number of them settled in South America, specifically Brazil.
Really?
Yeah. So there are descendants of Confederate Army soldiers living in Brazil today.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. And now we've talked about Benjamin Harrison before. When he was president, he used to do his own shopping. He carried his purchases back to the White House in a large basket.
Oh, so he was the original Go Green person.
Yeah.
Now, people who bring their own bags to the grocery store can now trace back to, what was his name again?
Benjamin Harrison.
Benjamin Harrison.
Yeah.
Thank you, Benjamin Harrison.
Yeah, and for those people who love our iconic White House, the executive mansion of the United States, they first got running water in 1884. And they had their first elevator in 1881, 3 years before that. And they got electricity in 1891. So if you lived in the White House before 1884, you didn't have any running water. And if you lived in the White House before 1891, you didn't have any electricity either.
When did the elevator show up again?
The elevator showed up in 1881.
So how did they run the elevator if they
Good
didn't
question.
have
It must have been
electricity?
on ropes. It must have been on ropes or something.
I wouldn't want that job. Could you
Cables.
imagine being the guy who had to pull the cables or whatever was
something
necessary?
like the dumb waiter that Thomas Jefferson invented, probably.
It probably had something to do with weights.
Yeah,
Counterweights or
yeah,
something.
yeah.
That would be my guess.
And last but not least on this incredible Friday evening, we're going to talk about Dolly Madison. She was the wife of President James Madison, and she has the honor of being the person who installed the first bathtub in the White House.
By herself? That's fantastic.
Oh, yeah, well, no, she
Oh.
she had some workers install the first bathtub, but when Andrew Johnson became president after Lincoln was assassinated, he threw it out. He said bathtubs were undemocratic.
Really?
Yeah.
So he just wanted to smell bad.
Yeah. So folks, if you want to be like Andrew Johnson, please get rid of your bathtub and get rid of it tonight.
No, thank you. I don't know what was wrong with him. He must have liked the smell of his own body odor or something. That's crazy.
Yeah. Undemocratic. How can a bathtub be democratic or undemocratic? Oh, well.
Who knows?
That's the crazy American history.
That it is. Well, that's definitely some incredible facts. And until next time,
I'm Richard.
And I'm Gary. And these were some more incredible facts.